A quick note before I start. This is a personal reflection of my own experiences, journaling, and a framework I call Minimal Viable Life. It's not medical advice, not therapy, and not a substitution for professional support. I'm sharing this as part of my own process in thinking out loud. Take what resonates and leave what doesn't. And if anything brings up something significant for you, it might be worth exploring with a qualified professional. So it's been a minute since I last recorded. This was actually very partially driven because as you know, I'm a student for healthcare services, and I hope in the future become a student to become a mental health professional. But both of these qualifications I'm working towards, registrations, the very fact that they're registered, they have a body that oversees professionals to ensure they are adhering to guidelines and code of ethics and are being professional and clinical professionals. So as I complete my schooling and I apply for designation, I will be scrutinized, as I should be. I'm not saying that this is a bad thing. I think this is just the nature of the beast. That registered healthcare professionals and registered mental health professionals should be scrutinized with what they put out there in the world. And they need to ensure that that's a step stays separate from the clinical practice. So I made the disclaimer because I want to share. I want to share about this minimal viable life framework I've been working on. I don't know if I mentioned it in the video before, but minimal viable life is a framework I'm trying to create that helps people with a life. Gotta scale this back to the actual existential problem. As a former New York hustling tech bro, I believe that the corporate world, or life in general, people kind of want you to always be in a yellow nervous system zone. They want you to be trying your hardest and pushing yourself to that extreme. But the truth is, we know this from wellness. You can't live in a yellow zone. You'll spill over into a red nervous system zone, and that would be not good for your health. That'd be burnout. And who's going to take credit for that? They're just going to throw responsibility onto you. So it is best for you to sustain a pace, which ideally, growth happens when you're in a green zone. You're in the green zone and you brush yellow, you push yourself outside of your boundaries occasionally, and that's where growth happens. But you have to come back, you have to rest, you have to honor your body and let it grow, give it its nutrients, give it its life. Same with your nervous system, with your mind, with your ideas, with life in general. Keep your nervous system in that green zone and occasionally brush the yellow zone. Don't listen to the forces outside of you who are telling you that you need to sustain yellow zone in your nervous system, because that's not healthy. That's burnout. So that is the philosophy, or that is the foundation that minimal viable life is built on top of. Minimal viable life is this idea, kind of like minimal viable product, that what can we build and iterate on, that we can take to market. And market here in this situation is life. It is, what are you going to take and bring into this world? So the idea is there's 3 tiers. just of life. All of us are on these three tiers. We have like a somatic tier. It's the basis of what we need to live. Like you need to sleep, you need to eat, you need to move. These are what you need as a human being. You need water, you need sunlight. Like you're just a complex plant with emotions. But take it back to that somatic and make sure that we're first feeding all those basic things. The second tier is the maintenance and expansion. This is two things, but they both line there because maintenance and expansion, as we become more adults and we expand, we take on things, and we want to keep those things, we have to maintain those things. And those would be the things that, we want to grow, we want to have. And then the final tier is play. And I think this is just something that we don't put into the system. We neglect play, but play is fundamental to this entire minimal viable life three-tier system. That's your life. So then after you know that those three tiers exist, like fundamentally, then you can start putting things in there. You first get your things that you need for your somatic life. You need groceries, you need food, you need to eat. Just schedule your meal times, schedule your exercise times, schedule your sleep, and protect your sleep. That is the largest tier. It's the fundamental. Then the second tier, we start building it up with the things that we need to maintain. It's just a reality. As you get older and you accumulate more stuff, you have more things that you're responsible to maintain. Make sure you do them. Like, you got a family? Do you have like a dog? Do you have a job? You have things that pay the bills so that you can keep on sleeping in a house with a roof over your head. Because remember, that first tier, that is the most important. So you work that job in maintenance so that you can pay to have that roof over your head in that first tier. Because protect your sleep, protect your diet, protect movement and exercise and having a life that can be lived. You do the work that you need to maintain the life that you can live. And then, and same on that tier, you can also expand. If you have more space, that's what life is living, is the creativity, the ability to expand and do the things we want to do. Play the guitar, or just watch and binge that entire TV series that you want. Or just create those things that make your life memorable. Be a sports star or an esports star or a comic book collector, whatever makes you you, the art. But this is where it starts slipping to that third tier. And yes, this third tier can be expansion things as well. It's slightly different than expansion because the third tier is play. And it needs to exist on its own tier, because when you schedule your time, have 20% you set aside just for play. That's just the fact. You must put aside things for playing. How play is different from expansion is play is done without the reward in mind. I hope that makes sense. Play is something you do even if you're bad at it, especially if you're bad at it. And you do it. If you're playing a video game to be the best at the video game, then suddenly it's not play, it's expansion. But if you're playing that game, it makes you happy and it has no reward whatsoever to you, but it does. It has a reward of life lived. It is a reward of your nervous system being sustained with fulfillment. That's why all these three tiers exist. And with these three tiers, we then go through the week, we fill in the different areas, and we create a minimal viable life. I'm going to leave this video here because I think we talked long enough. Maybe next week I'll go in deeper into how I use these tiers to break down my schedule to ensure I can do the things I want to do and build the life I want to live. Thank you for listening, and I hope you took some things to heart. Leave a comment and we can have a discussion. All the best.